All right, everyone. I want to teach you more about parts of time. We learned some parts of time already. For example, day, morning, all morning, afternoon, and so on. However, for Unit 4, I want to teach us a few more. In Unit 4, we are going to be learning the signs week, weekend, month, year, minute, and hour. In addition to those signs, what I want to teach you how to sign that repetition, that frequency adverb of every week, every weekend, every month, every year, and so on. All right, let's get started. First off, the sign week. When you're signing week, I want you to imagine a calendar. If you're looking at a calendar, a week goes across. So your non-dominant hand is going to be an open B. Your dominant is going to be an index. You're going to sign week. It goes across. Week or 1 week. This sign, week, is very similar to the sign day. Remember how day has number incorporation? You can incorporate the numbers 1 through 9 into the sign week. It's the same rule. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7, 8, and 9 weeks. You can incorporate the numbers 1 through 9. The sign weekend, you are going to combine the sign week and the sign end. All right? Ingenious, isn't it? Week, end. Week, end. Right? So the sign week plus end. Weekend. Unfortunately, you cannot use number incorporation. Like 2 weekends doesn't work. Weekend is just that index plus end. Now reimagine that calendar. If the sign week goes across, that means the sign month is all of those weeks together. You're going to go down. So what you're going to do is your non-dominant hand is going to be an index, palm facing your dominant side. Your dominant hand is going to be an index, where your middle knuckle is going to be behind and slide down, month. You can incorporate the numbers 1 through 9 into month as well. 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and so on, all the way up to 9 months. For week and month, it can only go up to 9. You can't do 10 months or 10 weeks. Doesn't work like that. The sign year, what I want you to imagine is the sun and the earth. Your sun is going to be in the middle. Your earth is the one that goes around the sun, right? That's where we get the sign year from, right? That orbital rotation. Year. 2 S's, dominant circles forward around your non-dominant. When you are using number incorporation for year, which you can do, you have to follow a slightly different rule. For day, week, month, and so on, you don't have to change your hand shape. You start with that number and you end with the number. 2 weeks, 2 days, 3 weeks, 5 months, and so on. However, for the sign year, what you're going to do is a little bit different. You'll be starting with the number. So let's use 3, for example. You're going to start with that number. When you are going to be signing year, you're going to move forward, and that 3 hand shape, as it is going around your non-dominant hand, you're going to end up closing your number. So 3 years, you're going to start with that 3 and close to an S by the time you get to the top. Your 3 closes to that S. So your number, whatever number you're using, 1 through 9, will start with the number and then close to that S. You can use the numbers 1 through 9, like 9 years. 10 and above, same with week and month. right? You're going to separate it. 25 years, 10 years, right? Same rule as month and week. You will have to separate it after 9. For the sign minute and the sign hour, these signs you need to think of a clock. All right, we had a calendar for week and month. Now we have a clock for hour and minute. Your clock starts 12, goes around, back up to 12. For minute, you have to imagine that minute hand which ticks, right? When that minute hand is ticking, you know what minute it is of the hour. So that's where our sign comes from, minute. Your non-dominant is going to be an index, fingertip on wrist of your dominant hand. Your dominant hand can use number incorporation 1 through 10. 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 9 minutes, and then 10 minutes. You can use number incorporation 1 through 10. You will see some people use a non-dominant open B, like the clock face, and that's totally fine. But keep in mind, when you're doing it this way, more often than not, you'll only see number incorporation going up to 9. I'm not saying you can't use 10, but I've rarely seen 10 minutes with that non-dominant open B. With the index, 10 minutes is very common. 9 minutes, though, is the max that I've seen going up to number incorporation for minute with that non-dominant open B. If you're thinking about the sign hour, right, an hour goes from 12 to 12, right, on the clock. So for your sign, you're going to circle around once. Hour. For your dominant hand, you will see some people twist their wrist. I prefer to keep mine frozen, right? It hurts a little bit when I bend my wrist like that. But you can use it if you want. It's up to you. They're both correct. Hour goes 1 through 9. 8 hours, right? Where you're circling around that 8. 6 hours, you're circling that 6. 4 hours, and so on. The signs week, month, year, minute, hour, weekend. For all of these, what we just worked on, explaining that frequency adverb or that repetition of every is a little different. The sign every or each looks very much like pass, right? Pass goes forward, but each or every goes down. Your dominant hand is going to brush down. You can separate it and say every and then week as a separate sign. But if you want to be more ASL, if you want to seem more fluent or clear, what you can do is you will want to repeat your sign. For example, every week. I'm signing week again and again, showing that repetition every week. With every week, just like with the sign week, you can use number incorporation 1 through 9. With month, you will repeat it every month, every 2 months, every 3 months. It's that repetition. This goes up to 9 as well. The sign hour, same rule. Every hour, every 4 hours, every 9 hours. You're going to repeat it. Now, with the sign minute, if you want to say every 10 minutes or every 15 minutes, usually you'll see people sign every. You don't see it repeated 10 minute, 10 minute, 10 minute. Same with weekend. You're not going to do that repetition. Instead, you're going to separate it with the sign every. Year, again, we're getting a little tricky. It's same rule, but a little different. You're not going to be doing a funky little dance with it. You're not going to be spinning again and again. Instead, what you're going to be doing is you're going to modify the sign year. But with year, you're actually going to be pushing into the future. You can sign every year separate, that's fine. Or every year. You're going to flick that 1 forward every year. This sign does not go up to 9 for number incorporation. It will only go up to the number 5. Every 5 years. Every 5 years. For 6, 7, 8, 9, you're going to have to separate it. You'll have to sign the word every, then 6 years, every 7 years, every 8 years. You cannot shoot that 9 into the future, right? That doesn't work. So to repeat number incorporation, the numbers 1 through 9 for number incorporation, like with day, we use with week, every week, month, every month, year, hour, and these are all 1 through 9, as well as every hour. One through 10, this will be used with minute. Weekend, you're not going to have any number incorporation. For every year, you're not going up to 9, you're only going up to 5. All right, now that you know, let's go practice.